Hey everyone, this is Olan Hodges here for the CIT 261 Winter 2017 class at BYU, Idaho. And this is my final report for this semester. Now, every semester starts off with where do I start? Um, every time I start a class, I always end up reading through the syllabus and the course overview and any kind of documentation that's provided to me, and it always seems like I never get a clear picture. Where do I start? How am I going to be successful for this class? So understanding the class objectives and what the direction of this class was going to be was key. So once we got going, again, this is my last semester. Um, Basically, I wanted this class because I like the mobile development portion of the web. So I basically wasn't going to look back. I'm here. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to be successful. Um, so I made a course outline for all the topics and when I needed to have them done. Um, I had the schedule set, ready to go, felt like I had a plan, and I was going to do it. From my journal in week 4, I wrote, "This week I'm starting to settle down and get into a groove with what we are doing." But as always, once you get there, things start becoming very hectic. So what once was a schedule and thought I was going to be able to follow it 100% ends up changing all the time. And that happens all the time with my projects at work as well. We have at the very beginning a project plan that we set forward and have all these different things. But as you go along, either roadblocks come up that you need to overcome or things that you didn't foresee that you needed to do show up that you need to now plan time for. So same thing happened here. I just at the time I was having trouble since I didn't have an application to write yet. I find it hard tying those topics together. So learning them individually is always okay, but I just don't feel like I can really expound upon them like I need to. Having a full goal for all of the topics to tie into, kind of like the CIT 360 class was, that we were going to write the 260 class, that we were going to write a text-based game. I already knew what I was going to write, so now I just needed to apply all the topics to that. But here's a quote from my week 5 journal, and this is how it started off. "This week has been extremely hectic." And that was definitely key to that week. That was a hectic week. But shortly after that, we started really hitting it well with all the different team topics and getting a rhythm going and a presentation rhythm going with our weekly meetings. There are a lot of topics to cover. Unlike the CIT 360 class, I was in a group that I could present ideas to, where the 360 class, it wasn't really, you presented what you found, but not in such a lengthy way. So having these weekly team meetings where we could discuss anything that we had learned, try to figure out things that we wanted to move on to. So we would bring ideas saying, "Hey, this is what so-and-so researched. I expounded upon it this way, but I still had these questions." So as the teamwork went along, we really found out that that was key to us understanding the amount of topics that we had and have them at the breadth that we needed to have them. And finally, leadership. I'm not really open to leadership. I kind of like being a contributor, a leading contributor, but not in the sense of leading people. But where our team needed a leader at this point, so I was fine with stepping up and doing that. Again, most of us, we all contributed. Don't get me wrong. But there was definitely a leadership role that needed to be filled to help move the project along and get everyone in a schedule. And I know that's uncomfortable for some people, and I'm not always comfortable with it either. but I went on ahead and I wanted to expound upon that ability to be able to lead. I'm going to need to, or I want to do that as part of my career goals, is move into a management type position, to try to get above and beyond just the engineering role that I'm currently in. So some of the specific ideas for being open to new ideas and being open to being a leader was that I created agendas for us on a weekly basis, so we knew what the current agenda was, what next week agenda was, as well as who attended, links to the video recordings, etc. I also got the meeting schedule and invites sent out so that everyone knew when we were meeting and what time. Team updates as well. I made sure that there were always emails sent out to the team about specific items that were coming up, meetings that we were having that were coming up as well. And when we were doing the project, I made sure the videos were out, that we had the project schedule very visible for them to follow, and just doing the posts in general to our team post, our team forum, so that they could see the videos. And then the project schedule and leading the weekly meetings. Did the majority of those. There was one time that I was not able to make it, but the team was able to make up for it at that. But every other meeting, I was the one making sure that we had the team meeting and it was scheduled and that we had it recorded and posted, etc. So this was the one thing that I felt I really worked hard at, trying to be open to new ideas and trying to expound myself, be a better example of BYU Idaho in the greater community. So here we are at the end of the semester. I definitely feel like this is a load off my back now that I've been 3 years now in the running to get to this point. I also think just over these past 14 weeks, not only myself, but I think the team is in a much better place and a higher level or a higher plane of understanding of coding topics, of team collaboration, and just working together as a group to make something a success. I was extremely proud of our team and how everyone contributed and everyone was there and stuck out with it through the end. So how I've improved over this semester, I was thinking back over the past week about how I've improved, things that have made me a better person in the workforce. One is scheduling. I'm a scheduler, but in my mind only. I set goals in my mind of when I want to get things done, but I never put them to paper, which is, I'm trying to remember exactly who said this, but if you don't have a goal written down on paper, then it's just an idea. It's not ever going to come to fruition. So I need to make sure that I always have my schedule set down, which also leads to the goal setting. I've always been taught, and I've worked in the workforce for 11 years now. That might not be a long time for some people, but for 11 years, I've set goals with leadership to make sure that I am improving myself on a yearly basis, and that I have not only my yearly goals, but even long-term goals past that of 5, possibly 10 years, and then I'm using short-term goals to get to all. So I think that was definitely eye-opening to make sure I have my goals written as well as my schedule written. And like I was talking about earlier, my leadership skills, I'm never going to say I'm a perfect leader, but I think trying to focus more on those that are part of the team and trying to help them out, I really tried to focus on that this semester to make sure I was helping the team get to what they needed to be and to help us as a group get to where we needed to be. And of course, coding, that's definitely a large part of this, even though I know at the beginning of the semester we said that this really wasn't a coding class, but I learned a lot about JavaScript and being able to use it within our HTML application so that we could build dynamic applications that don't require a page reload, which nowadays is a a major thing. People don't want to wait on a whole page to reload and for things to come back from a server. So my critical thinking as well as collaboration have improved as well. In setting a application in front of you and then thinking out, okay, how do I need to get this to work? What are the components we need to put in as part of this? How do I need to schedule this out? What are the actual small components that we can actually divvy out to try to equalize the work across all team members? That was a large part of both of these, both the critical thinking and collaboration. That took some definite time sitting down, thinking about it, trying to understand what we wanted out of things, documenting it, presenting it to the team so that they could review it and sign off on it. Now, what do I do now? So, again, like I said, this is my final semester at BYU Idaho. I want to continue working on my leadership skills. At my current job, I know I talk with my manager on a weekly basis, and he wants to basically train me and possibly another person as part of his replacement. He's always wanting to have someone ready to replace him in the event that he moves on or whatever. And I'm actually extremely flattered that he thinks that I could be that. So I really want to kind of start stepping up in this realm and become an actual leader, get true leadership skills. I have plenty of coworkers that I've worked with that can help mentor me with this, that are current leaders and even not just managers, but even up to the executive board level now. So having those guys is going to be extremely helpful in that. I also have a lot of skills that I've been holding off on since I started school. I've developed a couple of them because I wanted to keep my certificates valid still, but these are the ones that I really wanted to hit on as they're crucial to my realm right now. I'm a network security engineer, and so I want to build on my Python, which is a major thing nowadays for automating and scripting things. I want to work on my CCIE, which is a Certified Internet Network Expert. That's basically your doctorate of networks. I am a network professional right now, and I've been studying my CCIE on and off since I got my network professional about 2 years ago. So I definitely want to work on that and get that done. And I also want to get my certified ethical hacker. It's always something I've enjoyed, and it'll also help boost my my hacking skills, or the security skills, I should say, that I need to have to be able to get my job done. And finally, I want to do wood badge. That kind of ties into the leadership, but it also ties back into the community and into church. I'm now the scout master as of a couple weeks ago. So I want to make sure that I'm the best tool for those scouts to use to be able to achieve the goals that they have. So that's where I want to move forward right now. But I've really enjoyed this class. I've enjoyed all the people I've worked with and what I've learned from them, and especially the teacher. I've had a great time learning from James and having the opportunity to learn from his past experience and to try to emulate things that he's already had to go through and learn. So it's always good to learn from people that have been through this before. So I hope you like this presentation and have a good day.